This is what God intends. He intends for a man and a woman to come together and be together until death parts them. It's not easy. It's not easy now, but let me show you what God intended. Put everything down. You're going to need your hands. You're going to need both hands. This is for husbands and wives. You need to use this as a tool this morning to analyze the depth of your relationship and the health. For those of you who are raising children, you need to use this as a tool to prepare your children for marriage. And for those who want to be married, you need to learn this. You need to hold on and understand how it is you are to connect with the person that you believe that God is calling you to marry. There's 5 connections that God intended us to make. 5 connections. The first one, so I want you to touch your pinky finger, and I want you to know that God intended for us to have a spiritual connection. This is a connection that can be shared amongst billions of people. And so it's not hard to find another person who loves Jesus. But if you are intending to join your life with another person, you need to make sure that that person loves Jesus. It's a spiritual connection. Say it with me. What's the first connection? The next connection is a mental connection. So connect your ring fingers. And this is an important connection that should come from the spiritual connection, because your conversations should be purposed and from the perspective of 2 people who love Jesus. And so you should be able to talk about life and reality from the perspective of the greatness and the glory of God. You should be able to talk about who you are from the goodness of God. You should be able to learn about the person you're interested in, seeing them as God sees them, as a redeemed saint that He dearly loves. That should flavor your conversation. It's a mental connection. The first connection is a spiritual connection. The second connection is a mental connection. When you connect spiritually with another person in the love of Jesus Christ and you begin to share your life together, the third connection that will happen will be an emotional connection. At that moment, you will begin to care more about the well-being of that person than you do about your own. You will be concerned about what is happening to them emotionally, physically, spiritually. You will be concerned for them. And this is the framework of friendship. This is what makes a friendship, is when you have say it with me, a spiritual, a mental, and an emotional connection. But then there is a special connection that God intends for you to have with one person. Everybody hold it up. Hold up your pointer finger. Let's say it together. It is for one person. Let's say it again. It is for one person. And this unique relationship creates let's say it is a spiritual connection, a mental connection, and emotional connection, which will lead to a romantic connection. That is meant for one person. Romance is meant for you with one person. And I know some people have these flaky ideas about what romance is. This. Let me define it for you. Romance is making the other person feel as valuable as God says they are. That's what romance is. Now, it takes many different forms. For some people, it takes the form of Titans tickets. I'm just saying, for some, it's jewelry. For some, it's candy. Listen, you give me a 5-pound bag of M&Ms, you love me, all right? I get that. I'm down with that. That's good. So there is this way, though, that you, having made a spiritual connection and a mental connection and emotional connection, you begin to wonder, is this the one? And so you begin to date, you begin to court with one another, and you begin to show the other person how valuable they are. And having prayed and sought the wisdom of your parents and of dear friends, and you decide this is indeed the person that God has intended for me to marry, you make, after the marriage, you make the final connection, the physical connection. And then you bring it all together like this. And this is what marriage looked like when God made it. It was strong. It endured. There was a spiritual, mental, emotional, romantic, and physical bond that drew them together. And this is what makes a healthy relationship now. When God made the world, He provided relational harmony.